they changed the website where you register to do business with the government. So I've remade the video on how to register. So when you walk through this with me, you'll see exactly what I'm showing in this video. And you absolutely can do this yourself for free. So follow along with me and get this done. We go to the website SAM.gov and let's close this pop-up. And then we sign in by clicking here in the top right corner. If you don't already have an account, click Create Account and go through the steps to set up an account and then sign in. Now here we are on the SAM homepage. Find this box where it says Register Your Entity. SAM uses the word entity, but you should understand that to mean your business. And click on the box that says Get Started. And it takes you to this page, and we again see the box for Register Your Entity, and so again, we click on Get Started. Now on this page, click the box that says Create New Entity, and now it asks what you want to do. Since you want to win government contracts, click the first button to indicate that you want to do business directly with the U.S. federal government. Then it asks your intentions today. Click on the first button that says Bid on a federal procurement opportunity as a prime contractor. And then scroll down the page and click the Next button. This next page asks, who required your entity to be in SAM.gov? Click the first button for federal government, and then scroll down the page and hit the Next button. The next page asks us to choose an option. Since you want to be able to bid on federal government contracts, on this page, select All Awards. Next, it asks if we're registering a government entity. Since you're registering a business, click No. Then it wants to know whether the business is located in the U.S. And by the way, you can register a business located outside the U.S. But if your business is physically located in the U.S., click that first button and then hit Next at the bottom. Now they ask whether you already have a cage code. If the business already has a cage code, click Yes. Otherwise, click No, and they'll assign one as part of the registration process. The cage code is a number assigned by the government. So if you're registering the business for the first time, it probably doesn't already have one. So most of you will be clicking No here. Click Next and you get to this page that summarizes what you're doing. Click Next to keep going, and this page explains the steps involved to complete your registration. It tells you there are 5 key steps. The first step is to get a UEI. You'll hear the government refer to this step as entity validation. After the government has validated your entity, you'll come back to SAM and complete the remaining sections. You'll complete the core data, the points of contact, assertions, and representations and certifications. This is really important to understand. I've seen too many people who thought that once they completed entity validation, they were done. Please remember, once you complete entity validation, you need to come back into SAM and enter a bunch more information about your business, like your NAICS codes. But before we can even get into those parts of the registration, we first have to go through entity validation, and that's what the next several screens are for. On this screen, they're asking for your legal business name and physical address. Your entity's legal business name is the name you registered with your state filing office, or the name used on legal documents and your tax returns and bank documents. And it's optional, but you also can enter a doing business as name. That's any other name you use for your business. For example, if you use a trade name that's different from your legal business name, you can enter it here. If you don't have a doing business as name, leave that box blank. And they ask for your physical address, and a lot of people get rejected because they list a post office box for the physical address. It says right here on the website, a post office box may not be used as your physical address. For those of you who work at more than one location, they want you to enter the address where you keep the books and records for your business. And these days, I know lots of people are operating their businesses from a home office. If that's you, you don't need to go out and rent office space. You can list your home address here. The next page says you are about to validate your entity, and it tells you the information you provide here will be used throughout the federal government, so make sure that your information is current and correct. And they also tell us they're going to ask us to submit documentation to prove the legal business name, physical address, state, and start year of the business. Check the box that says, I can provide official documentation to validate my entity, and then click Next. Now on this screen, they show you a list of potential matches. There are two different options here. Check the first one if you see your business listed, but most of you are here because you're registering the business for the first time, so you probably won't see the business in the list. If that's the case, then select the second option, I don't recognize my entity in this list. Click Next at the bottom, and it will take you to this page titled Enter Incorporation Information. And it's kind of confusing language because I know for some of you, the business isn't incorporated, but they still want you to enter your information here on this page. First, they ask you to enter your start year. If your entity is incorporated, enter the year of incorporation. If your entity is not incorporated, provide the year you began doing business. The next question is state of incorporation. This could be the state where you incorporated your business, or where you filed your certificate or articles of formation, or where your business is located if it's not incorporated. And the next screen has you confirm your information. And pay attention to this screen, because on the next page, they're going to ask you to upload documents to prove this information. And the documents you upload must show your information exactly as it appears on this screen. So make sure you have documents to prove your legal entity name, physical address, state, and start year exactly as they appear here. If your documents have something different, click the previous button and go back and revise your information so that the documents you upload match what's shown on this screen. Okay, now we're on the page where we can upload our documentation. Click where it says Add Document, and then from the drop-down menu, select the type of document you're attaching. It's showing you here the types of documents you can upload to prove your information. For example, articles of incorporation or articles of formation, a recent bank statement, your certificate of formation from your state, certified tax returns, a recent utility bill, and for you sole proprietors, you can upload your driver's license. I think a good one to attach would be the letter you received from the IRS that assigned your employer identification number. That's your EIN. And you can upload other types of documents as well. This is just some of the most common documents that people submit. Select Other Document if you're submitting something different. So select your document type and then check the boxes to indicate the information that's contained in the document. For example, legal business name and physical address in the same document, or legal business name and U.S. state of incorporation in the same document. If the document contains multiple pieces of information, then you'll check multiple boxes. For example, your articles of incorporation from your state might contain your name, address, state, and start year, in which case you would check those 3 boxes. Then you can drag your document into the box and click Submit. Attach as many documents as you need to verify all your information. That could be one document, or it could be multiple documents. You just go through this Add Document process for each one. And be sure you check the boxes when you add your document, because the website is not going to let you go on to the next page until these 3 boxes are checked. And if you entered a doing business as name, then you'll need to upload documentation for that as well. And then in section 3, there's this text box here that says provide details, and it's listed as optional. But I want you to get validated fast, so I would use that box to spell out which documents validate which pieces of information. Particularly if your situation is more complicated, I recommend you use this box to make it crystal clear and help the reviewer find the information they need to validate you. Then click Next at the bottom of the page, and we receive this confirmation that our documentation has been submitted. It provides a reference number, and it gives an estimate of how many days it will take them to respond. Note that it says, after we look at your documents, we will tell you how to complete your validation. You'll also receive an email from the General Services Administration. The email I send out confuses a lot of people, so I'm showing you here the email I received. It says an incident has been opened on your behalf. People see that and think something's wrong, but no, this is just their process. Okay, so what's going to happen next? Well, the validation agents are going to review your documentation, and then they'll send you an email. I'm showing you here the email that I received. Either they'll ask you to answer some questions or to submit additional documentation, or they'll say you can move on to the next step and complete your registration. And when you return to SAM to finish your registration, SAM requires that you enter your NAICS codes. So watch this video next so you'll know how to answer the NAICS code question in SAM. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.